hamaha. Then He placed inside the nafs. Put something inside its heart. Ilham is to put a feeling in your heart that is more certain than fact. You know, in English literature, we call it a gut feeling. That's what that is. Ilham is a gut feeling. I just know that it's right. I just know we have to take a left, for sure. You know how you're really, really sure sometimes? That's ilham. And this is a word used more generally than wahi. Wahi can be used for animals or human beings. Allah even uses it for the bee. Awha ila nahl. But ilham is only used for creatures of intellect when they become firm about something. And Allah is telling us that He put something inside of us that is this ilham. This is a gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. What is this ilham? Fujuraha wa taqwaha. This is amazing. He says, fujur. He gave it a clear conscience, a clear understanding of its fujur. Fujur literally comes from fajr, which is to rip and tear open. It is used, like a fajr is the one who rebels against Allah in the worst possible way. In the worst possible way. So fujur means the understanding of what is clearly rebellious to Allah. But Allah doesn't even say, فَأَلْهَمَهَا الْفُجُورَ. He says, fujuraha. The fujur of the rebellion, this excessive, this violent and completely obnoxious disregard of the nafs. Meaning Allah made the nafs aware that it has an evil inclination inside it. It has something inside it that has the capability of fujur. It's already pre-programmed inside that it has that potential. And Allah made it aware that that potential is there. And when it heads in that direction, there's this alarm system that goes off. You're headed in the wrong direction. That's the guilty conscience. That's the ilham that Allah is talking about. That when the human being does something wrong, even if they haven't studied revelation, even if they're Christian or Jewish or atheist or agnostic or whatever, when they're about to steal, something goes off inside. Something tells them this isn't right. And they have to shut themselves up, basically. They have to stop listening to themselves. You know, cartoonists used to do this. Right? Cartoonists, they're depicting this guy's about to go kill somebody, and this guy comes up and says, don't do it. The other guy comes up and says, just do it. And one guy beats up the other guy and he does it. Tom and Jerry used to do this. Right? But these are illustrations even in contemporary culture of the same concept. That Allah made the human being aware inside of himself that something is wrong. And you know why this is so important? Because for the Muslim, when we know we're doing something wrong, the first place we find out we're doing something wrong is ourselves. And when we do it anyway, we feel uncomfortable. And when we feel uncomfortable, we go to the Imam and say, is this really haram, this thing, if somebody does it? They don't say, I did it. What do you say? If somebody did that, is that really haram? And the Imam says, yep, that's pretty much haram. Then you feel even more uncomfortable. So you go to somebody else and say, is this really haram? And they say, there may be other opinions. And you feel a little better. Then you start Googling it until you find somebody who tells you it's halal. And your conscience is at ease. But your first fatwa was not given by somebody else. Where was it given? Your own. And that's why you went asking. You went asking around because you felt something inside. So this is fujuraha. And then what taqwaha. Allah Azza wa Jal gave this human being, He inclined in him the ability or the consciousness, the awareness to protect itself. Taqwaha. Taqwa literally means protection and precaution. Actually, the root origin of the word is amazing. It is to protect yourself from something bad so that you're staying away from the bad thing and from the punishment that will come as a result. So you're protecting yourself from two things, becoming bad and getting punished. That is taqwa, actually. And we constantly translate it as fear, but fear is an implication of taqwa, not taqwa itself. Fear is because you're afraid of doing something bad and you're afraid of getting punished, so you save yourself from it. But literally taqwa is protecting yourself. So Allah says, be inspired inside the human being a recognition of evil, fujuraha, this evil rebellion against Allah. And by the way, fujur by necessity means rebellion against an authority. You're violating something that was already placed. So in the word fujur, we're already learning the nafs knows that there's an authority above. The guilty conscience in and of itself is a proof that there's a master, there's a Lord. Because why would you feel bad anyway? You know, people, atheists and stuff, even they say, I feel bad. So even their conscience is telling them there's a master who can make you feel that way. Subhanallah. That's Qur'an psychology. And then, وَتَقْوَاهَا, and the urge to protect itself, and to protect its nafs, and to keep that balance. Let's read something from a tafseer, inshaAllah ta'ala, that is written by Ash-Shawkani, rahimahullah, in regards to فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, before we take a break for the Maghrib prayer. What time is the Maghrib prayer, by the way? Oh, 45? We got some time, okay. أي عرفها. So he says فألهمها فجورها وتقواها أي عرفها وأفهمها حالهما. He made the human being thoroughly aware, and he made him clearly recognize the two states, both of those states of it. وَمَا فِيهِمَا مِنَ الْحُسْنِ وَالْقَبْحِ. And he made the human being realize the beauty in taqwa and the ugliness in fujur. I mean the ugliness in rebelling against Allah and the beauty in protecting yourself. وَعَرَّفَهَا طَرِيقَ الْفُجُورِ, Mujahid says. He made him realize the path of evil. Meaning it's the ultimate evil, but he made the human being realize if I take this first step, it'll lead to a step worse and worse and worse until I end up in the worst state. So you know how people say sometimes to ease their conscience, what I did wasn't that bad. At least I didn't kill anyone. Right? People say, make excuses like that, meaning in order to justify their bad behavior, they compare themselves to someone much worse. It's not like I robbed a bank or something. It's just riba, etc. Right? So what you do is you compare yourself to worse. But in your conscience, the fact that you said that, you know that this is leading to worse. Meaning you do something a little bit bad and you let the crack open and some comes through and more is bound to happen and the crack's going to start getting bigger and bigger until the dam is broken and the flood waters come through. Subhanallah. This is why Allah protects the believers when He says, "Udkhulu fis silmi kaffatan." Enter into the fold of Islam totally. Don't let any cracks, because even a little bit of crack, what's going to happen over time? It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. This is the human being recognizes this. To say that He made him realize the path of good and the path of evil. Allah did not say good and evil though that's how it's been interpreted and we understand it that way. What He said was He made him realize its rebellion, its worst disobedience, and its protection, and how to protect itself. So at the end of the day, it's not about good. Allah didn't say al-khair wa shar. It's not about good and evil. What is it about? Protecting our own selves. This is the reality of the nafs. The nafs is not this benevolent creature that wants to do good beyond itself. Its first and foremost priority, its instinct is to benefit who? Itself. This is why Allah Azza wa Jalla let us know, if you're the best of people even, in ahsantum, even if you excel, ahsantum li anfusikum, you're only excelling for who? Yourselves. Yourselves. In modern ethics, there's this idea of, I don't need a heaven and hell to tell me what's good and bad. I'm pretty good in and of myself. I can do good things. You know, even an atheist and whatever can do good things and give in charity and all of that stuff. Why though? Why do they do that? Because in the end, who feels good? They themselves do. It's something for their own nafs that they do. It's something to ease their own conscience, subhanallah. So now,